Today, our class is going to be on moving to the flushing programs. We are going to talk about how we get from the foundational into the flushing programs and all the pitfalls that we all seem to be falling into, not getting there. So it's really, I figure this is going to be, I opened it up to Q&A because this is really going to be fashioned around what we're dealing with and why we're being slow to get to the good stuff. So the reason, we'll just start with the reasons that we want to get there. Okay, the reason to quickly get into the flushing of the liver and the kidneys. The foundational program, no matter what issues you have, whether you're just doing a basic cleansing program, whether you have cataracts, whether you have a major infection going on, whether you got COVID, it doesn't matter what's going on with you, you establish the foundational programs, and there's 3 of them. Echinacea, to boost your immune system. The bowel cleansing, you've got to get your bowels open and moving, or you cannot do anything good with yourself. If those bowels are backed up, you can't flush because it would just back up on you and make you sick. And then your food program. And the food program, there's 3 parts to that. Your regular vegetarian food program, the raw food program, and juicing. And depending on the work you're doing that week or where you're at in your programs will depend on whether you're juice fasting, eating raw, or allowing some cooked food into your food program. When you during the week of liver flushing, it's good to be juice fasting. That is the one time, those 5 days of that detoxing liver flush, you really want to be juice fasting to get the very best benefit out of that you can. Because when you are juice fasting, you are alkaline. Your body is cutting waste. You are cleaning house. You're getting your liver open. You're just moving waste out. And you're going to do the best work for wherever the issues are. So depending on what issues you're working on, when you're doing that week of liver flushing, you want to target those areas topically, if at all possible. And then take the herbal supports internally that will bring nutrients and nutrition to the sick areas so that they have the master herbs in them for whatever area you're dealing with. So the body will target and look at those areas for cleaning house there. And then, of course, your liver flushing. So you're emptying that internal vacuum cleaner bag. You're getting that liver to move and getting it on turbo suck to pull more waste in and get more waste out. And that is the reason that we want to quickly move into liver flushing and kidney flushing, is because that's where all the good stuff happens. Getting the foundational programs established is done so that we can do the actual work that is going to get our bodies healthy and well again and rebuild strength and whatever it is that we're working on. So regardless of the issues you're working on, you will need to establish the foundational program. An ounce a day of echinacea is where everyone begins. If you're just doing a minor detoxing program, you can do an ounce 4 days each week. And then, so you're taking 3 days off and doing 4 days of an ounce a day of echinacea. If you have a major disease or a major issue going on, then you do 6 days a week with an ounce of echinacea 6 days a week. And I've done quite a few videos on the foundational program, so I don't want to put a lot of time into reestablishing that, but I'll open it up to questions. If anyone has questions on the foundational program, go ahead and ask them.
So the foundational program, you said that it's an echinacea program, or is that part of the, is it all 3 of them? Echinacea, bowel movement program, food program? We're
Right,
doing
that
all,
is the foundational. The three of those are the
okay.
foundational program.
And
Yes,
what consists,
Maxine. Oh, excuse me.
what consists of the bowel movement program? What do you do in that?
The bowel, clearing the bowels, you establish the lower bowel number one formula. You use the number one formula to establish and get your bowels open and moving well. And then you will begin to take the intestinal number two formula, which is the actual bowel vacuum. That has the bentonite clay, the charcoal, the psyllium husk fiber, you know, all that good stuff in it that just draws the toxins out of the bowel, basically from the throat to the rectum. You're just clearing the toxins from your intestines.
So basically,
So,
you start this foundational program, say tomorrow, and
mhm.
you've got your echinacea in your body tomorrow morning, and then you do a lower bowel number one
At
just
dinner. You
at dinner.
take the number ones only at dinner. You take them
Okay.
just one time a day.
Okay.
And so the first day you take one capsule. The second day you take two. The third day you take three. And this is the normal way of establishing the number ones. Now, I'm once we get through these questions, let's get Maxine's question, and then I'm going to talk about ways to quickly establish the number ones and ways to speed that program up. Yes,
Okay.
Maxine.
Yeah, I'm doing my bowels, and I'll be doing a liver flush, but I heard you tell someone earlier because I probably get cold because I'll be doing juice. And you said to take oil. How often do you take the oil?
You would add it to your superfood drinks 3 times a day. So
3 times.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're having like 2 to 4 tablespoons of superfood.
Oh, okay.
And you add the flaxseed oil, wheat germ oil, whatever oil you find most beneficial to your superfood drink. It makes it creamy. I actually think it makes it taste better.
Okay, thanks very much, because I'm doing that next month. Okay, thanks very much.
Yeah, but you're still going to get cold. Even doing that, you're still going to be chilly. So just plan on putting on an extra sweater.
No
You'll
problem.
need it.
I'm taking a vacation, so I'm staying at home.
Yeah. Well, just know you're not off. You're absolutely normal when you get chilly when you're juice fasting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's get to establishing the number ones. I don't know how to put your hand down. I'm not as good with this program as I ought to be. Let me, because I want to. Oh, you did it. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm not as great with this program as I could be. I'm still learning it. Okay. The bowel cleansing. All right, let's say that we want to really get into the liver flushing and the kidney flushing, but the bowels are really, really bad. We're backed up. Things are really not moving well, and it's just preventing us from moving forward. So there are a couple things, actually, there are several things that can be done to kick this progress up and move it faster. One, you can increase by 2 pills a day. Okay. If you do that, you are going to run the risk of getting an overactive peristalsis. You know, when it breaks through, it could be really strong and you could feel a little crampy. Take some extra number 2, the lower bowel number 2 formula, and that will take the cramps right away. I mean, you got 5 minutes, and you just put a rounded teaspoon of the number 2 and shake it in like 6 to 8 ounces of water. And within 5-10 minutes, I have been on the toilet where I was telling the Lord to take me now because I was cramping so bad. I had overused my number ones. I used what I normally did, but I had done some cleansing work, whatever. and they were really overactive. I mean, it was just ripping me up. And I could not even get off the toilet to get the number 2 powder. My husband had to go get it and bring it to me, poor guy. And but in 5 minutes I was better. Once I got the intestinal number 2 down, it's the antidote for overusing the number 1 capsule. So just remember, if you are going to be increasing by more than 1 capsule a day, in a way of fast tracking your finding your number 1s and getting your bowels open and working well, there's a chance that you might end up with an overactive bowel. And but the antidote is there in the number 2. And so what you would do is you would just back off 1 pill that evening. You don't quit taking them, but you just back down 1 pill, because I was only 1 pill over when I ended up ripping myself up. It was just 1 pill past what I needed to be taking, and it was not fun. So
did you
that
do the lower? You started the lower bowel. How many days do you do the lower bowel?
You
3?
do the lower bowel until your bowels are open and working well.
Okay.
So you just continue to increase by 1 or 2 pills a day. I've never suggested somebody go with 3 pills a day, except one time when somebody had a really bad blockage and they were going to end up in the hospital for surgery. And I had that person go with 3 pills a day and castor oil packs and all that stuff. And we got them open, we got it moving, and they didn't have to have surgery. But it's a bit radical. So I would not do 3 pills a day. You're moving too fast. This is increasing the peristalsis and all that. But 2 pills a day, you could get away with that. All right. The other things that we can do, okay, that is the number 1, and you take that 1 time a day. So at the dinner hour, and they're going to kick in 12 hours after you take them. All right. And the way that the intestinal number 1s work are not going to conflict with these other suggestions I'm going to tell you in a minute. All right. Yes, Frank.
Yeah, when you say don't the 3, you mean don't increase by 3 at one time. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 3 at one
Honestly,
time overnight.
In other words, you might go 1, then 2, then you might be at 3, you might even be at 4, I guess, if that's what you get to.
I mean, I take 18 pills a day.
Okay.
That's what I have to take. I know.
So
it comes out of so much junk in my past. My peristaltic doesn't work.
So you could take 1 tonight, 1 tomorrow night.
But if you take 1 tonight, Genevieve, then you go 2 the next night and 3 the next night until it actually kicks in and makes a difference.
Okay.
At that level where it makes a difference, and that's what you continue with. So
right, you got it, Frank. Yeah.
Okay.
Say it, maybe.
Thank you, Franklin.
There we go.
So you continue to increase, but when you do it 2 pills a day, if you were me and you end up with 18 pills a day, you don't want to wait 18 days to find out how many pills you need. And I already know I need a lot. All right. So if I was ever to have to start over from scratch, I would just jump up to 15, and then I would probably start with 15 pills and then just increase by 1 or 2 pills a day until I found where my body was currently at. But I know that I'm going to be over 15. All right. If you've taken the number 1 capsules before and you have an idea where your number is, you can jump straight in at that number and then build or decrease if it's over the top from that number.
I start with 4 because I know my number.
Yep. Yep. You start right in where you know you should be, or in the vicinity, and then build up. Yes, Maxine.
I wanted to ask you, how many times should your bowels move? Because sometimes there's a conflict. When you
all right.
Okay.
That's an easy set question to answer. You should be having 1 bowel movement when you first get up in the morning. The bowel movement when you first get up, that one is your liver dumping all night long.
Oh,
Your liver dumps, your liver works at night while you're sleeping, and it fills up the bowel overnight. So that first one that you have in the morning, and even if you're on the toilet a couple times, that's just your whole colon emptying, because half of it will empty and then the other half will come and, drift over, and then you'll feel like you need to go again. And that's actually just one big bowel movement from the liver dumping into your colon overnight. Okay, then you should be having a bowel movement after every major meal. So, and the reason that we know this is so is because the peristalsis, when you chew and swallow food, you initiate that peristalsis, the squeezing, kneading motion is initiated. The meal that you're eating goes to your stomach and your small intestines. The meal that was resting in your small intestines now moves to your colon, and the meal that was resting in your colon should be excreted within an hour or so of a major meal. So that is the movement. And that's another reason why eating in between meals is not healthy and not good, because you mess up your peristalsis. You will be rotting food in your gut because everything has to stop and wait for that snack to catch up. And so it's sitting there rotting instead of being digested and moved along. So learn to eat whatever you're going to eat when you're going to eat, and it should be like 4 or 5 hours in between meals. That gives your body a chance to rest from all the work of digesting before you put more down on it, because you can actually wear out your vitality by eating too often, because you never get a chance to rest your anatomic. Your anatomic systems are constantly digesting and processing food. And it's exhausting to the adrenals and to all your endocrine system, which is doing a lot of work when you eat. So, okay, we have established doing the number one. Okay, here are a couple things that we can do to, and when you do these things, you do not stop your number ones, because they are affecting from a different angle. Your number ones are still going to do their job, okay? And they're not going to be more intense or less intense because of doing these two little procedures. All right, prune juice flushing and vitamin C flushing, one or the other. And then, of course, an enema is the third option for getting the bowels going better. Just doing when you are doing a good detox program, I have found that doing an enema in the morning is going to clear that bowel out, so you're not dribbling all morning long, and you just get the bowel cleared out, and then you will not have another bowel movement due until after you eat your breakfast or your lunch, a major meal. So it's, for me, when I do a good detox program, just doing an enema in the morning and just getting that bowel completely cleared out. And then, of course, I can do the skull cap and catnip and get a liver dump in on that too. So that's just a nice thing to do. Doing enemas constantly when there's, it will weaken the peristalsis, and it will actually degrade your bowel, because your bowel is not having to do the work it needs to do. So people can get addicted to enemas, they can overuse them, but when you are doing a healing detoxing program, doing an enema twice a day is not a bad idea. Any questions on that concept? Okay.
So is the skull cap and the catnip, is that the strong tea?
You make that tea. What I do is I just keep a 32-ounce canning jar in my bathroom. And of course, I've got a big house and I have a kitchenette upstairs. But you want to just set it on a tray in the kitchen, put your heaping tablespoon of catnip and a heaping tablespoon of skull cap into the jar, fill it with boiling water, put a saucer on it. Don't try and screw the lid on. You'll never get it off in the morning. You'll be singing praises to the wrong person fighting with that lid all morning. It will be stuck. So I just lay a saucer on it, and the saucer will seal it really nice.
Okay.
And then all you got to do is pick that off and then strain it through a strainer. You know,
Right.
you can get a cup strainer or whatever into your enema bag, your last enema bag, after your bowel is cleared out. Then you would add that in. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, what I want you all to understand, and I was talking to a good friend, been a member for ages, and she did a liver flush last night, and she had done a prune juice flush, and she didn't take her number ones because she did the prune juice flush, and she thought she didn't need her number ones because she did the prune juice flush. And this morning, her bowels did not move, and she was one sick little puppy with no bowel movement after a liver flush. Not a good idea. So you, when you do a prune juice flush or you do a vitamin C flush, you still take your number ones, just like you normally would, the same amount, because they are working with the peristalsis. The prune juice flush and the vitamin C flush are just flushing the bowel. They're not moving the waste and not bringing it on in and all that. They're just taking and irrigating the bowel through and getting it cleared out. So they can be used. I mean, if you are starting a program and you really need to get into liver flushing and you're just having a hard time getting your bowels regulated, you can do a prune juice flush or a vitamin C flush, and that will clear the bowel out so that the waste can be dumped in from your liver, and you will not have the backlash from a backed up bowel when you're doing your flushing programs. You still want to get, you still continue to increase and do the number ones, but for the emergency of needing to get that liver flush through, we can get you cleared out so that you can do an emergency liver flush within the day. I've had people come in here with gallbladder attacks, and we have cleared their bowels. We've done a prune juice flush in the morning, their bowels cleared during the day, and we were able to do an ELF in the evening, and got the gallbladder cleared and all better. So you, yes, Catherine.
I choose to do the prune juice flush and the ELF, like what you say. But as soon as I get up, I do the prune juice flush, and then wait until about probably 8 o'clock or so Mountain Time to do the ELF, and that seems to work. But so this is really important for me because now I'm coming to terms with how I've neglected and abused my digestive system. And so now it's showing up with some very, very strong discomfort, as I have shared with you, with the bowel.
Yeah.
And so now when I choose to do that, and I have not been doing the number ones, would it be a good idea to morning to take a number one or the night before?
You need to continue when you're doing the prune juice flush or a vitamin C flush. You still take the number ones just like you normally would if you hadn't done anything else.
Okay, all right, gotcha. So
Yeah.
it's like, for me, it has to be keep it simple, stupid, because I can complicate things in a heartbeat.
We all can. And the thing is, with bowel cleansing, we're so afraid, and there's the real fear that we're going to lose control and mess on ourselves or embarrass ourselves somehow. And that can happen. It's stuff happens. But you are in control with the intestinal number 2 formula. You can tighten that bowel back up. If it's too loose and too drippy, and you suddenly find that you got to go somewhere. I mean, if you're at home and it's loose and drippy, who cares? you're getting toxins out, let it drip. But if you find that you got to go somewhere, go ahead and take an extra dose of the intestinal number 2. It's going to tighten that bowel back up, and you'll be able to do what you need to do without having problems. So the number 2 is the antidote for it. It gets you in charge and keeps you in charge of your bowel movements and of the bowel activity. I mean, normally I would say if your bowel is moving, whatever, you want it to clear out. I hate the drippy, so I'll do an enema just to clear it, so that it's all gone and I don't have to worry about it till the next meal. But the other thing that will keep it from being drippy is also the fiber. Using a teaspoon of psyllium husk fiber in a glass of water once a day, that's going to conciliate all that little drippy piece, especially when you're on a juice fast. When you're juice fasting, your bowels can tend to get really drippy, and because you're just not getting the fiber. There is fiber in the juices, but you're still going to be drippy. Taking around a teaspoon of psyllium husk powder once a day in a glass of water or juice is going to conciliate that bowel and pull all that together so that you have a solid waste that comes out instead of a drippy waste. It will bulk it up a bit, and then it all just comes out together, and it's much more satisfying than just having little bits, kind of squirt out. However it is, it's coming out. It can be uncomfortable and unsatisfying when you're juice fasting. Your bowels can get too loose. So the fiber, using the psyllium husk fiber, and it doesn't taste like anything. You just have to drink it quickly to get it down. So the prune juice flush, that info sheet is available on my blog, or you can text me and I can send you a PDF of it with the instructions. You do it once a day, usually early in the morning. And you would take a glass of warm water, and then you wait about 10-15 minutes, and then you're going to drink 16 ounces of prune juice. You do not drink it down, you chew it down. You take each swallow, swish it around in your mouth, and take it down. It should take you 10 minutes or better to drink that 16-ounce glass of juice, because your digestion begins in the mouth. And if you just gulp that down, your body isn't going to know what it was supposed to be doing, and you're not going to get the effects that you would if you chew it down. So you just put each swallow in your mouth and you swish it around between your teeth and all that, and then swallow it. And, drink the whole glass that way. And then you wait a half hour or so. And if your bowels are not moving, then you drink another glass of warm water. And I usually put a little lemon or cayenne in at least one of those glasses. And then you would proceed about 5-10 minutes later with another 16 ounces of prune juice. So it's 32 ounces of prune juice total. You do not drink more than that. If that does not get your bowels moving, usually when that's effective and it works, you will have loose bowels, runny bowels, if not watery bowels, for 4 to 6 hours. So the one thing to remember is you're not passing gas. If you feel any pressure, you go to the bathroom, because you will be passing fluid from your bowels. And it just cleans everything out. It cleans you out, and then you can do your liver flush or whatever you need to be doing without concern that you'll be backed up. So that is one way that you can move quickly into an emergency liver flushing situation. You still need to continue to build up your number ones. And you cannot do this every day. This is just getting you cleared so that you can do that emergency liver flush that you may need to be doing, and getting you ready so you can do that. But you continue to build up your number ones, and if you need to do a second one, then you could do a prune juice flush again, if your bowels still aren't ready, and flush your liver again if it was needed. Sometimes that's necessary when we're dealing with hives or with a gallbladder that just doesn't want to behave itself. It might take a couple of them to completely clear a really bad one. But the vitamin C flush. Okay, let's talk real quick about the vitamin C flush. It works pretty much the same way. It's going to be 4 to 6 hours of wet stools and all that coming out. When you first start working with your powdered C, you want a good ascorbic acid with nothing else in it. It's got to be just straight good ascorbic acid. If you go to my blog, daradietz.me, you'll see my blog on vitamin C flushing, and I actually have a link there to a website that sells really good vitamin C. And I know there are other good ones out there. This is just the one that I like. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 level teaspoon of vitamin C powder, and you add it to like 4 to 6 ounces of water, and you stir it up in there, and you drink that every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, you're going to be drinking 1 teaspoon of vitamin C powder in 4 to 6 ounces of water until you have your bowel movement. Once the bowels move, you're done. It could take anywhere from 5 to 10 doses to get your bowels to empty. Once you have done this, it's called bowel. We're looking for bowel tolerance, more or less, so that you can use vitamin C as a healing tool. The first time you will reach bowel saturation, and so your bowels will go to liquid and all that good, and you're going to flush it out. And so now you know how many doses you need to take to flush your bowels. All right. When you're using the vitamin C on a regular basis, just to keep your system saturated for healing purposes, vitamin C would be used to heal the adrenals. It's wonderful support for healing the adrenals. Pretty much anything that you need, vitamin C will be a benefit to healing the body overall. It's a really good tool. So once you know that, let's say it takes you 6 15-minute doses and for your bowels to go liquid, or the bowels to flush, then you're going to cut that back to just 5 doses for your bowel tolerance. You reach bowel tolerance at 5 doses. If you take 1 more dose, you're going to be flushing your bowels. So on days that you want to flush your bowels, you go ahead and take that extra dose. On days that you just want to saturate your body with vitamin C, you would cut that dose and you would just go to the saturation level. Is that making sense, or have I confused everyone?
Makes sense.
Well, I think
It's okay. I mean, you have this in your blog, right?
Yes, this is on the blog, the instructions.
And the prune juice one is on the blog.
It should be. I don't have a blog for the prune juice. Where the prune juice PDF is actually hiding out, it's on Lady of Herbs under the Incurables tab. When you go into PDF files and all that, it's under where you see the disease list and the formulas, and then you'll see Incurables there. You click on Incurables, and the prune juice flush is in that list.
Okay.
I could have sworn I put it in with the liver flushing, but I've gone to several of them and I can't find it, so it isn't there. But all right, any questions on getting the bowels to move?
Yes.
Yes.
Essentially, from what I understand about the bowel tolerance, now this is a completely new topic or new perception of how to do this, is bowel tolerance. And right now my bowels are pretty sensitive, so I want to wait until they calm down before I try any of this. And I think you would agree with that. And so essentially with the vitamin C flush, it's so say I get
You're going to find the vitamin C is going to be very healing. And if your bowels are that sensitive, it may only take 1 or 2 doses, maybe 3 doses for you to hit bowel tolerance.
Okay.
So you stop at that point.
Okay.
And then to saturate your body with vitamin C, then you would only take like 2 doses.
Okay. All right. I think I got it now. All right.
Yeah.
So
it's not what's the word I want to use? It's not rough. It's really not rough. I did it this morning up to, for me, it's 5 doses to hit bowel tolerance, to go over the top and flush my bowels. I took 4 doses this morning. Absolutely no problems. I actually was feeling, my chest felt a little heavy this morning. I was just feeling kind of down a bit. And with that, and then we went and worked outside, and I took a walk on the trail. And by the time I came off the trail, I was actually feeling pretty good. All that stress, all that sitting at my desk just killed me. I was doing a bunch of desk work yesterday and today, and it just blocks up my whole system. And I don't get out and about enough.
I
So
agree with that for myself as well. And I do recall you're making a remark about your husband. He doesn't like to sit still, and I fall in that category myself. And then I wind up neglecting myself. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's not one to sit around and do nothing all day. He tends to stay pretty busy.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so this is one of the biggest holdbacks to people getting into doing the liver flushing, especially when they're really sick or there's some serious need to flush the liver. We can get it to the place where where we can get them flushed in the 12 hours. Starting in the morning, we can move somebody through and get the bowel cleared and get them flushing, but that doesn't mean that they're ready to do a liver detox. The week of liver flushing, we still have to get those bowels regulated and get everything moving through. But in the meantime, if we do need to do repeated liver flushes and things like that, we can add in the C flush or the prune juice flush and get things moving. Is that making sense?
Yeah. So I'm thinking,
Okay.
what I'm thinking out loud for myself is I haven't been taking the number 1 for quite a while, to take one tonight, and then for about 3 nights, and then consider doing a vitamin C flush and see where that goes. As far as, because my bowels are now calming down, and thank God for the strength of that echinacea is just out of this world.
Yeah. Well, remember, BF&C is wonderful for strengthening and putting the elasticity back in the skin, which will reabsorb all those issues and put everything back where it belongs.
Okay, great. All right. Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Another thing another little quick tip to get the bowels moving well is to do your castor oil packs over the bowel. Whenever the bowels are backed up, or especially when you're just starting your program, the castor oil, you just put it under the bust, down to the pubic area and side to side, a big castor oil pack over this. And it's going to, what the castor oil does is it breaks up congestion. It's going to take like cement and turn it into mud. So, if you've got packed up, your bowel is like a tube, and let's say around the inside of it, you've got really hard old waste that's just dried and packed on the walls. and there's a spot down the middle, a small area where the waste is able to get out. But overall, you've got this around the edge, it's just packed up solid. And so the peristalsis is a squeezing, kneading motion that needs to be able to contract those walls. So when you've got cement holding the walls open, the muscle tone that's going to be needed to break everything loose so it drifts to the middle and then can be eliminated, that's going to take a lot of muscle. And so what you do with the castor oil softens all that up. You put the castor oil pack on, it's going to get in there and it's going to turn that cement into soft mud. Then the peristaltic, when it hits and it starts trying to crunch and move, it's just going to crumble everything to the center and then it's just going to flow on out. So that's going to clear the bowel so much quicker, especially when you're just starting a program and you've never done any bowel cleansing and everything is just hard and wasted on there, and from years of constipation. Yes, Franklin.
Yes. What are your thoughts about a colonic with a choline?
I think colonics are great.
Okay.
I've got no problem with those at all.
Me neither.
I mean, it is a way of just clearing everything out. But then again, if you're dealing with a really hard packed up bowel, the colonic will even be better if you do a castor oil pack before you go.
Okay.
And so the night before you're going to go in for your colonic, just put a castor oil pack on. It will soften everything up, so all that waste just comes right out.
Okay.
Yoo-hoo!
All right.
Can you take a castor oil pack and put it over your eyes in a small castor oil pack? Can you do that over your face?
Yes, you can. Anywhere that there's congestion in the body, castor oil breaks up congestion. If you want to put a pack over your eye, of course your eye is closed when you do it, and you can get one of those eye patch things and just put the pack on under it. I wouldn't apply any heat over a castor oil pack applied to the eyes. You wouldn't want to heat that up. Just allow your normal body temperature. And if you wrap it, there's so much blood in the head and the face that if you take and wrap that around and put a good cloth or a scarf around there, just to hold the heat in, or your body's going to be warm enough where it will warm it up. But normally when you do the castor oil pack to the colon or somewhere, you're going to put a heating pad over it for about an hour or so before you go to bed. So, or anywhere else over a tumor, we use castor oil packs anytime there's congestion in the body. You would put a castor oil pack over a tumor to help dissolve and break that up so that the nutrients that you're taking in with your liver flushing and your detoxing will be able to break that up better and pull it on out.
Oh.
So anytime that there's congestion in the body, castor oil is not a bad idea. It can be applied anywhere, except you never take it internally.
Oh, okay.
And Dr. Christopher was adamant about that. It should not be taken internally.
And there
All
was
right.
a period, Dara, and there was a period of time where castor oil was administered, and I remember that as a youngster. And this bottle of castor
They
oil.
still do. There's still people who administer it for constipation, and it just destroys the peristalsis.
Okay.
It will make everything slip out. I mean, you'll get a bowel movement off of it, but at what cost? It's not good. It's the outside of the body is where we want to apply castor oil.
Okay. Now there is on the mineral oil that is used for topical and internal, and I've seen that, but I've not done that as far as applying the mineral, ingesting the mineral oils. And from what you're saying, it sounds like it might have a similar effect for the peristalsis of ruining it.
Yeah. I have not found anything in the herbalists that I respect Christopher, in those who talk about ingesting mineral oil. You know, flaxseed oil, wheat germ oil, olive oil, all of those, but I've never seen any advice on ingesting mineral oil. If somebody else has, please share it with me, because I don't have any basis for suggesting to use that. And my concern is, and the reason it sends up red flags in my head is mineral oil being inorganic minerals, like
Yeah.
mineralized water. That just creates kidney stones.
Uh-huh.
High mineral, there's no enzymes attached. So it cannot even get into the cells and nourish or anything, because for something to be alive, when the plants pull the minerals out of the ground up into themselves, they attach a molecule to that mineral or vitamin or nutrient, whatever it is, and it becomes alive. That's photosynthesis, that's life happening, and it's a gift from God. But it is recreation from the dead dirt up into the plant, where life is now in the plant. And the reason that life is there is because there's enzymes, live enzymes attached to it through the plant.
Right.
And when you would take something like mineral oil or mineralized water, you know, it's just dead minerals. There's no enzymes attached, so you can't use it. Your body has to slough it off, and your kidneys are going to be able to collect all that and make stones.
Yeah. Well, I've not been attracted to it, but I've seen that it's been, you know, bless Walmart pharmacy, they have it on their shelves. And the only time I use mineral oil is as a lubricant when I sharpen my knives on a whetstone.
Yeah. I've never read or seen anything that would indicate using it internally by any herbalist that I've ever respected. So that's the best thing I can say on that.
Okay, cool.
I don't know enough to say anything else. Okay. The quick start then would be an ounce of Echinacea daily, superfood 3 times a day, your bowel capsules at the dinner hour. And then you want to set up your daily schedule for the Incurables program in the or any program that you're doing. Here we're talking about the Incurables. In the liver flushing ebook, you will see this is I think it's page 18 or something like that, or it's on page 8 in the kidney flushing ebook. And it is a schedule, and you can take this and twist it around, rework it to whatever works in your schedule or for the work that you're doing. But it has the parts and pieces in there. And this is for juice fasting. This is a juice fasting schedule. And then there is one for eating raw. There's the raw food schedule, which is also available right there in the liver flushing and kidney flushing ebooks. And the reason that I don't use the share content is I tried that once and really messed it up. So I will send you to where the information is instead of trying to post it up there for you. Also, the other thing that is very invaluable, of course, is your juice fasting, and everyone wants to know what juices that should I be drinking. Well, the foundational ebook has a list of juices for ailments, and this comes straight out of Dr. Christopher. It's 2 pages to this, and it's called Juicing Combinations for Disease. It's what's written here at the top. And just to grab one out of it, hemorrhoids, carrots and watercress, comma, carrots and turnip leaf, comma, prune. Okay. Now, when you are let's look at another one here. Cataracts. I thought I just saw cataracts.
About thyroid.
Okay, let me see if there's a thyroid. Nope, he doesn't have thyroid. It would probably be under, oh, here's one, liver troubles. For liver troubles, carrot, beet, cucumber. And he has those listed with a hyphen between them. So those three should always be together in a juice for liver troubles. Carrot, beet, cucumber, and then there's a comma, then there's apple, comma, dandelion, comma, grapefruit, comma, and lemon, comma. All right, when you are looking through this, you never combine fruits and vegetables in the same drink. That will be gassy, that you cannot digest them both. So what you want to make note of is when he's got them linked, when he has like the three things here, carrot, beet, and cucumber, you know that those three should be used together in equal portions for liver troubles. And then you can add apple, you can add dandelion to a vegetable or fruit drink, or, you know, grapefruit and lemon. You know, those can just be something that you're drinking by themselves. Constipation, rhubarb, prune, and fig, commas after each one.
Does the comma represent, okay, you said never to put fruits and vegetables in the same juice. But I've been doing carrots, ginger, lemon, and green apple in the morning.
Okay. Your apple is the only exception. It's digested by both sets of enzymes. And I find that lemon juice can go either way. I don't know why. Some people may be sensitive to it. So if it doesn't bother you going in with the fruit drinks or the vegetable drinks, don't worry about it.
Okay.
But if it made you gassy or it gives you a problem, I find that lemons tend to go either way also, but there's no science to back that up.
Okay.
All right. The point that I want people to understand off this list is when there's an ampestand and between two things, like here, let's find one. Arthritis, it has celery, ampestand, cucumber. You should always use celery and cucumber together. And then there's a comma carrot, a comma endive, and a comma apple. So those can be added or not, you know, but whenever you're making an arthritis juice for an arthritic issue, you want to make sure that if you are doing the carrots or doing the celery, that you have cucumber there. Or if you're doing cucumber, that you have celery. They're not standalone. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a lot of information. I think that
Yes.
I think that by reading your instruction would be better for me.
Yep. Well, this is in the foundational ebook, which is
Okay.
found. I think I have it hooked up as a handout for today's class. I believe I got that as the handout.
So I've been looking for the prune juice flush on my phone. Well, and I can't find it. Where did you say it was?
Okay, go to Lady of Herbs.
Okay.
And go to the right-hand side at the top where the menu is. And you'll see there where it has info sheets or whatever, there's a drop-down menu.
Okay, got it.
Okay, you'll see incurables. You want to click on the incurables one
Okay.
choice. And then in that list, you'll see prune juice flush. It's about halfway down.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. All right. Any questions on going from the foundational to the flushing programs? I mean, is anyone struggling still with the concept of getting the flushes established and the movement from there? Okay. All right. So we are, you're ready now. Your bowels are open. Everything's moving. You've got your intestinal number 2 stabilized. Once your bowels are moving well, and let's say it takes you 6 capsules a day for your bowels to be working well. So now you want to establish the intestinal number 2 formula. That is a binding formula that is going to bind. So you're going to increase by 1 or 2 additional capsules. So if 6 pills is what you normally take, you would take 7 pills, and then the next morning you start taking your intestinal number 2, 1 teaspoon shaken in water every 3 hours throughout the day. And one easy way to remember that is 3, 6, 9, and 12. If you're awake for 3, 6, 9, or 12, you take some intestinal number 2. And if you get to the end of the day and your bowels are tight and you go, you know what, they just weren't moving good today, take another number 1 capsule. You may have to increase by 2 or 3 capsules to support the intestinal number 2. That is the actual bowel cleansing. The number 2 is the bowel vacuum. That draws toxins out all through the body, through the whole intestinal tract. It's just pulling waste out and absorbing the waste from there and healing the intestines. So you really want to get that established well, and just increase your number 1s. You're in control. The intestinal number 2 is going to bind you up. The intestinal number 1 makes you go better. So you just get a balance between the 2 of those. And that's basically where your bowel cleansing is. Any questions on that? All right. So we're going to begin our liver flushing. Now, there are several levels to liver flushing. And the liver flushing is the key to getting well. You want to get well. You want to get the disease out of your body. You want to be healthy again. You have to liver flush. There's no way around it. Your liver is the vacuum cleaner of the body. It is the organ that is going to get the toxins out. So you want to support the area that's sick topically by using the nutrients and nutrition intended to heal that area, whatever it is. And then you have to turn that vacuum cleaner that is your liver up to turbo suck so that it is pulling the waste out and you are eliminating the toxins that you are cutting loose, that they're getting picked up and removed from the body. So if you're dealing with your eyes and all those little vessels in your eyes, you want to use eye bright. You want to target the eyes with circulation in. The vessels in your eyes are about the width of a hair of your head. They are so small. And getting the waste out of the eyes is really, really important. That's where the eye bright comes in. You're going to get the circulation in, and it's going to take it, when that blood dissipates, it's going to take the garbage out with it. So you're doing a forced circulation into the eyes, and then as that blood dissipates, the garbage will move out with it. And personally, I clear my floaters usually in just 1 application of eye bright. I get floaters from time to time, and you're trying to pick dust off the top of your glass and there ain't nothing there. That's a floater, where you're just seeing little things floating around in your vision. That's because there's waste that has congregated in the gel of your eye, in the eye gel. And it's just floating in front of the lens. And when you flush your eyes with the eye bright, you are just clearing. It just all that stuff is just cleared out. You're just cleaning up the eyes. So when you are doing a major work for cataracts or macular degeneration, anything like that, you want your liver to be pulling the waste. So you have to liver flush. Some people get some pretty good benefits on the eyes without doing the liver flush, but what chance do you want to take that you do all that work and it doesn't work because you weren't flushing your liver? You want to do the good work. So the liver flushing program, there are different degrees and ways of doing the program. The intense, well, we'll start with the light. Light liver flushing work would be, you could eat raw. You can do 1 flush a day, and this would be like your seasonal flushing, where you're just doing changing your inner oil for whatever seasonal thing. And you would just do this for a week whenever the season changes, and then do an ELF at the end of the week. That big liver flush, it just cleans everything on out. But you're using your detox formula every 3 hours, and your LP formula every 3 hours, but you're doing just maybe 1 liver flush a day, and that would be a really light program. And I would not bother doing that if you have a major disease that you're trying to clear. That would just be a detoxing, a seasonal detox, just to clean yourself out. And like I said, end it with an ELF on at the end of the week. The moderate program would be where you're doing 3 liver flushes a day, your detox and your LP formula every 3 hours, drinking your detox tea, doing, you could throw an ELF in once or twice a week, depending on how well you wanted to kick that up. I do an ELF on Wednesday when I do it, because Wednesday your drink is so big and there's so much oil and you got to do that 3 times that I always just cop out and just do an ELF. And I'll still take my teas and stuff throughout the day, but I'll do an ELF in the evening and save myself a couple glasses of UC in the day. But that would be a choice. And then the intense liver flushing program is you do an ELF every day for 5 days in a row. And that is very, very intense work. I do not suggest anyone start their detoxing or incurables program with that. You need to build up your body, get everything softened up, do your detoxing for maybe a month or so before you actually do the intense liver flushing program, or really you're going to waste all that effort. And believe me, that is effort to do 5 of those in a row. By the 5th day, you're looking at that big glass of oil going, please, Lord, not again. It's just so much oil. But, get your body prepared for it so that it's ready to dump. It's ready to clean house. You've been on juicing. You've been, on a juice fast. You've been doing the lighter liver flushes and all that work just to get your body really prepped and in the mood to dump waste. So when you're ready to do the intense liver flushing program, you're really going to see benefits from it. I mean, tumors are going to shrink. Your issues are just going to start going away with that kind of intense work, and your liver turned on that much. It's just amazing the things that can happen. And I've actually cleared 2 cases of tetanus doing the intense liver flushing program, because it translates into the intense infection work. For serious infection issues, you also do that intense liver flushing. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. Now we're going to touch on kidney flushing. Now, the kidney flushing program is much easier. You can continue to juice fast if you're doing if you're supposed to be dead in 6 months, you would be juice fasting all the way through. But if you're just dealing with issues that are not life-threatening, you can actually go to a raw food program with the kidney flushing week. So you can eat raw on the kidney flushing week. You would be juice fasting on the liver flushing week, and that's a 5-day program. And then over the weekends, if you're not supposed to be dead in 6 months, you can add cooked food for the 2 days on the weekend. And that is the crux of the Incurables program, a good detoxing program. Now, if your blood pressure starts to, if you start having issues with your blood pressure, or your renal system just needs a really good detox, you can do the intense kidney flushing program, which is a 3-day program. The first day you're setting it up, and then it takes 2 days to drink the drink. And I do have a video going into that. That will usually stabilize blood pressure that is popping up and around for no reason, because when the kidneys are getting backed up, when they're full of pus and sediment, there's no bypass around the kidneys. They will, your heart has to pump really hard to get the waste through the kidneys. So when the blood pressure is spiking and you don't know why, and there's no reason for it to be spiking, when it's just the renal system just seems to not be doing well, go ahead and do the intense kidney flushing protocol. And the instructions, I've got a video up on it, and then it's written out. We have called it the Stone Dissolve program for years, but I have since learned that it also stabilizes blood pressure very well. So that would be like doing an ELF on your kidneys, just really clearing them out. And the other thing is, if you are going to do intense vitamin C flushes and do really serious work with the vitamin C, the powdered C, you will have to pay attention to your renal system, and you'll need to do the kidney tea and the kidney bladder formula on a fairly regular basis, along with the apple cider vinegar, or what we call hot lemonade. One of the opponents to the vitamin C flushing raised their objections to the fact that they say that vitamin C flushing creates kidney stones. Well, all that tells me is that the kidneys are being put through their paces with the waste that the vitamin C is cutting loose. So you need to safeguard your kidneys by doing, drinking the kidney flush tea and making, with the apple cider vinegar and the lemon juice, just keep your kidneys flushed and happy, so that the waste coming through them doesn't get backed up. And I don't think that there will be any problems whatsoever with doing vitamin C flushes. And everything I've read out there, I can agree that it is a stress. My kidneys have been issues for me for, since I was a teenager. And kidney failure was why I came into natural healing. And when I was first doing the vitamin C flushes, my back got a little sore. I was starting to feel a little achy and all that. And I had read that, the kidneys could be put through their paces, and the opponents were saying kidney stones. So I did, I made up my kidney tea, and I drank a gallon of it in one day, and the next day, everything was better, no more problems. And now I'm just drinking my KBT, the kidney bladder tea, on a fairly regular basis, and making sure I get my hot lemonade down at least once a day, so that my kidneys are staying flushed and happy, and they don't seem to care about the vitamin C flushing. But just know that there is, if you're going to do serious work with the vitamin C, you do want to safeguard your kidneys. Any questions? All right. Well, that was basically what I wanted to lay out, trying to make it more comfortable and a better understanding on getting into the flushing programs. Anyone have any questions on doing, going from the foundation into the flushing part of the programs? Yes, Franklin.
So the flush for the kidneys is simply the full lemon and full lime squeezed into about 30 ounces of water.
Mm-hmm. The juice of 1 lemon and the juice of 1 lime. And then what I like to do is I like to add the apple cider vinegar to that.
Okay.
Yeah, Schultz didn't add that. That's something I just started doing on my own, and it kind of kicks it up a bit. And
Okay.
then, of course, you can add honey or maple syrup to that, and
Okay.
and
How
your
much water?
teaspoon of cayenne.
How much water was that?
About-
Anywhere from 16 to 30 or 40 ounces, whatever you can drink.
Right. Obviously, if it's 16 and you got a full lemon and full lime in there, it's more tart.
Yeah,
That's
it's to at least 24 ounces,
So,
I would say.
I've been doing about 30 ounces, and
Yeah.
I have not been adding apple cider vinegar, which would probably be nice, or maple syrup, which would even be nicer. So
Yep.
I might.
Yeah, I like the maple syrup over the honey because honey just sinks to the bottom,
Right.
and it's so hard to get it mixed up where you get the sweet at all. And maple syrup mixes. Yes, Maxine.
I have to go. I'll see you guys. Talk to you
Wanted
soon.
to ask you, can I do
All
that
right,
every
dear.
morning? Every morning? That
Say that
kidney-
again. I missed your question. Somebody was signing off and you got overrun.
I was wondering, can I do that kidney flush every morning?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure, because even if I'm not doing the kidney flush, I just wanted to make sure that's okay to do it every morning.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You can
Mhm.
drink your kidney flush tea freely whenever you want. I
Okay.
can definitely say that because
Mhm.
when I first came in with kidney failure into the Incurables program, I had to do a kidney flush with the liver flushing. My kidneys could not take a week of liver flushing. There was so much weight being put through on them and the waste that I had to only do 2 liver flushes a day, and then one of them had to be a kidney flush instead of, the 3 liver flushes, morning, noon, and night, like
Yeah.
the schedule shows. One of those had to be a kidney flush, or my kidneys just went berserk, and I was in agony.
But I
And that
wanted
was
to
only
ask-
for the first month or so, and then I was able to do all the liver flushes. My kidneys were feeling much better.
Good. So it is best to do that liver flush first, because I know some people
Yes.
do the kidney first. But
Yeah, the only time that I suggest you do the kidney flush first is if you have renal issues
okay.
and you really need to safeguard the kidneys. Then you would do the kidney flush first, but really you want to do the liver flush first because the liver is the real crux of it, and you are breaking so much waste loose, and it's not all getting processed out that week. Processed out. It's like you're pulling all the waste into the center of the room, and it doesn't all get picked up and moved out. And the week of the kidney flushing, your body is going to get a chance to get on top of all that waste and get it all processed out. So the kidney flush does not create die-off. You're not. It's not a detox that creates die-off. It's support for the renal system and flushing the whole body.
Okay,
So
thank you.
it gives you a chance to get on top of all the work that was done the week that you liver flushed. Okay, let's go ahead and open up the floor to general questions. Any questions that you guys have got? Anything you're working on? We can field those questions now. I know everybody wasn't having issues with this. But I will open up to general questions, and we'll do this for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. And anyone have suggestions for what they would like the next class to be, and just toss it out here. If I have to make up my mind, it's going to be whatever questions get tossed up at me during the week or whatever, and it may not be what you all are dealing with.
Skin,
Say that again.
skin,
Skin issues.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any, but somebody else might benefit from it, who might be dealing with eczema or whatever.
Yep, we can definitely deal with skin issues. That's actually a very easy one, and we can definitely do that one. It's a fun one too. Any general questions? Just speak up. You have a good week. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have you done one on arthritis?
Susan.
Yes. I don't know how
Yes,
to
what?
but you can consider me better looking.
I think you're great, Susan. That's not fair.
I was wondering if you've done one on arthritis yet, and then do I have to do all these flushes before I do the arthritis treatment on your blog?
Yes.
The flushes will come along. You can begin the arthritis program,
Okay, good.
but you'll be wanting to do your liver flushes because you're going to be dissolving inorganic mineral deposits and all that all around the joints and getting that out, and you want that vacuum cleaner up and running.
Okay, tomorrow I go see my rheumatologist and he wants me to do infusions of steroids. I don't want to do that. So I'd like to.
Girl, that's going to trash your liver.
See, I knew
Steroids
it.
are suicide for the liver.
I'm already taking methotrexate and prednisone. I need a natural something or other.
Girl, not a good idea.
That's what I thought. I'm not going to do it. I already decided, but I was glad you were on.
I did a class on arthritis. I thought I emailed you back with the links.
Maybe I just.
I actually have 2 arthritis videos.
Okay.
If you don't get that email me again, and I'll send you the links again.
I'll look at it again. I think I saved it. So yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, my dear. But yes, you will have to do the liver flushing. And you'll want to do the kidney flushing because you don't want that inorganic stuff stopping up in your kidneys and making kidney stones.
Oh, the flushes just sound awful to me. I'm sorry, everyone. I have to be brave and try.
Well, we will sigh and cry for you, my dear, and help you do them.
Thank you. I will try.
All right. Did anyone else have any questions?
Well, thank you, Susanna, for bringing that up, because now I'm realizing the possibility that I've been flailing around and wasting my time with inconsistency and to really commit. And so I've been doing the arthritis program, but with just an occasional ELF. And so this is getting me, I'm waking up to, I need to do more. So I need to talk to you directly, Dora, at some point. So I'll be calling you.
Yep, not a problem, my dear. Okay. Are there any other general questions? Anyone working on something or anything I can answer here? Otherwise, about 5 minutes or so, and we will call in night.
Okay.
Maxine?
No, I don't. I'm just taking my pancreas formula. I'm looking forward to it. Getting better.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. You
But
definitely will.
All right.
Okay, our class in 2 weeks is going to be on skin issues, eczema, skin stuff, skin tags, moles. We'll throw the whole thing in on skin stuff and just see what we can come up with.
Great.
Good. Looking forward to it. Everyone, good night. Good night.
Good night.
All right. You guys take care. We'll see you next time.